Good morning, everybody. This is Mike from The Last Corvette. Today is Saturday, September 24th. And yes, it definitely feels like fall here in Metro Detroit. It's raining on and off, and it is 59, man. Yes. The leaves are starting to turn, and yes, the winter is coming. But anyway, I checked my YouTube channel today, and a couple times a week I look at the comments, and I saw 2 new comments. Well, actually 3. One of them was funny. Basically, it said my videos suck, which maybe they do. Who knows? But the other 2 were about my fuel pump. One person said, obviously, thank you for the videos. They help a lot. He's going through, or he or she is going through the same, dropping the tank and replacing or upgrading the fuel pump as I did last winter. But the third one was a question mark for me, because I've made videos on this before, and obviously there's still some confusion, and it's referencing back to the flex fuel sensor itself. So AC Delco is what everybody uses, AC Delco flex fuel sensor. So I responded to that person with a part number, but I'm going to include the part number for the flex fuel sensor in this video in the description. That way everybody knows what it is. And regardless if you have a GM, Ford, so you're domestic, European, or Asian, whatever it is, foreign, period. If you're going to run flex fuel and you want to have a seamless flex fuel conversion, if it's possible on your platform, or monitor your flex fuel, your ethanol, and your fuel, you're going to need the sensor. So let's start with the basics. Why is it so popular to run this AC Delco flex fuel sensor? It's because it's very, very easy not only to install, but also to get information out. It uses a simple 0 to 5 volt scale. Obviously, you need a receiver, so either a computer that can decipher how much ethanol you're actually running, that's being outputted by the flex fuel sensor itself, or a standalone gauge. Now, there are a bunch of companies that sell standalone gauges with the flex fuel sensor, AC Delco, and also full plug-and-play kits like by DSX, where they send you everything that you need, minus the tuning that you will need, regardless if you're naturally aspirated or if you're boosted. So let me explain. If you buy just the sensor itself, it will be a GM AC Delco. If you get a sensor that says something else on it, don't use it. It's a knockoff. AC Delco is the only one, okay? But you will still need a harness. Now, I'm not going to go in and include all of these part numbers for piggyback harnesses, straight harnesses to the flex fuel sensor, because they're all going to be different depending on your application. If you're running into a computer, if you're running into a gauge, they're all different, okay? But at the end of the day, you will need a harness, which you can buy them anywhere. I sourced my flex fuel kit that I assembled myself. I didn't go through DSX, and I saved a lot of money. I saved about, probably over half. I think a DSX kit is about $300. I was all in probably $140-ish, something like that, $147 with, shipping and taxes. So I bought the sensor. Then you're going to need, obviously, the harness. I chose to go with a piggyback harness because you need power, you need ground, because the sensor needs to stay on when the vehicle is running and be off when the vehicle is off. And, some old school guys on old school vehicles, you can put a switch in, it doesn't matter. Now, the third thing you're going to need besides the sensor is obviously all of your plumbing. Go with like Racetronics or some good quality fuel adapters, fuel lines. Don't use freaking barb fittings or hose clamps. That's how you ruin your vehicle and, God forbid, actually catch the thing on fire. Now, as far as installing it, you want to install it as close to the fuel rail as possible, right? Because that's your main source there, where it gets dumped into the vehicle. But of course, if you're running a high pressure system like Fords do it a lot, you can put on the return side. At the end of the day, you might be, I don't know, 0.25% off or something like that, but it's really not going to matter, because once you have flex ethanol running through your vehicle, you're you're going to be reading accurately. Okay, so we covered that. Okay, just want to be clear, all sensors are AC Delco. Now let's move on to the two different types of setups. So let's say your vehicle can't support a true flex fuel setup, like you would find on GMs and other various brands, where, you know, if it wasn't a flex fuel from the manufacturer, you can wire it into the computer, it will unlock, well, I shouldn't say it will, your tuner will unlock and create a secondary map, and then it will be a seamless, flawless conversion between running ethanol, running a pump, or something in between. But if you're one of those vehicles where you're locked into, like, let's say like an E40 tune, for example, E38, E40, whatever, you need to maintain those levels. And trust me, testing is one thing. Testing at the pump with the little probe tubes only gives you what you're putting in, okay? Obviously, the higher the ethanol content, the better. But maintaining that level of your tune is what's important, right? If you go under, you're going to be underperforming. If you go over, you know, you could be hurting the performance as well. So there's a bunch of companies that make standalone gauges. You can buy just the gauge, you can buy the whole kit, and it basically goes the same way. You need to connect it to a fuel feed or a fuel return. You need to give it power, but instead of running to the computer, it will run to a gauge. Now, in a application like the C6, for example, my input wire is going right to my computer, and the computer reads whatever ethanol I have in the fuel system at that given second, and it will auto adjust. So that is the seamless true flex fuel conversion. Now let's just look at, why would you even want to put in a flex fuel sensor? Well, recently, especially this year, with the gas prices soaring during the summer, it was a no-brainer. If you're running a ethanol performance vehicle, you don't want to do it to any vehicle, but if you're running a performance vehicle, naturally aspirated even, LTs, LTs will see more gain than LSs, but LSs in my case, you know, I saw some horsepower gains, a lot of torque gains, but it's cheaper to fill up your vehicle, especially if you drive it a lot. It's easier on the pocket. For one, I was paying, at the height of the fuel prices, I was paying almost like $2.50 cheaper per gallon to run flex. Plus, it's 100 to 110 octane race fuel that can be sourced at a gas station near your house or wherever you live, right? That's one. And that really made it more popular. I remember when I was getting my naturally aspirated setup tune, and the guy at the shop was saying, man, he's like, this is like the new thing. Everybody wants to convert to ethanol just so they can obviously get some performance out of it, but also run cheaper type of fuel and still benefit from the performance. But the true flip side of things is, if you're running boost, that's where the ethanol truly shines, guys. It's a no-brainer if you're into cars, you know. That's when you see the huge gains by switching from pump to ethanol, either having that ability to divert back and forth, or just running full ethanol all the time. Now, I will end this on the flex fuel standalone kits that they sell, meaning that they claim that if you install their kit with a little box that basically fools your computer, that you will see gains and you'll be able to run ethanol. Well, that is true. You'll be able to run ethanol, but not efficiently. The best way of doing these conversions, regardless if you're naturally aspirated or if you're boosted, is to get a chassis tune, guys, by a professional that knows what the hell they're doing. You get what you pay for, okay? I don't believe in those standalone anything. It's a gimmick. You're buying the whole kit, and yes, it's expensive to tune, but if you have additional mods, it will pay for itself, like I did. And the flex fuel kit itself is super cheap. Like I said, I paid $140 compared to like $300 through a DSX. But regardless of what label is on it, who you buy it from, it's still and always will be a GM AC Delco Flex Fuel sensor. So hopefully that covers kind of everything about this whole flex fuel conversion and flex fuel sensor, guys. Just when you're doing this yourself, just like I said, use quality products, use quality fuel adapters. Obviously, buy proper harnesses depending on your setup, and you'll love it. And of course, get the vehicle tuned to get the most out of it. Talk to you guys later. Enjoy your Saturday.